Hello. Welcome to Wise Transformations community ceremony for our second Capricorn full moon of 2024. Very potent time. And scientists call it the buck moon because this is the time when the male deer begin to sprout their antlers. I'm Bonnie Salomon. I'm the co-creative managing partner of Wise Transformation. And I'm here recording because both Judy Keating and I are away from our desks, traveling, doing some summer getaways, but didn't want this opportunity to pass without spending some time with you. Wise Transformation LLC is a company Judy and I created several years ago. We're two women intent on bringing elemental wisdom and feminine magic back into life every day. This is the time of the growing feminine energy. You can see it, you can feel it, and we're here bringing you information to help you meet that goal of bringing elemental wisdom and magic into the everyday. So today we're going to be talking about our upcoming event at Wise Transformation and calling in our sacred space. We're going to be talking about the timing of what's happening right now and having some ceremonial guidance. So since this is a recording, not really sure exactly how long it's going to take, but for however long, I'm with you here. So you see a chart of the moon phases, and there we are at the bottom of the chart with the full moon. And the full moon has different characteristics for different folks. And for us, it's a time of releasing. It's a time of letting go of what no longer serves. And it's also a time to take a look at what we've done so far in this moon cycle and see what maybe needs a little tweaking, a little adjusting, a little releasing. So I'm looking forward to spending this time with you, and we'll get started. So I really want to stress to you about our upcoming LEAF, Laughter Enlightenment Autumnal Festival event, which is coming up September 15th at Scottsdale Farms in Alpharetta, Georgia. It's going to be a wonderful day. We have three magnificent speakers who are going to share with you everything from how to bring your plant life into your home, to some breath work, to some opportunities to reconnect with our inner child. So we're terribly excited about it because Scottsdale Farms is an amazing place. It's like a little oasis in the middle of Northeast Georgia. They have every kind of plant you can imagine, numerous greenhouses. It's a beautiful scene. We're going to have a gourmet lunch. I think you would love the day. And go to wisetransformation.com and you'll see information on our LEAF event. Sign up today. Our space is limited. And so we are going to be on a first come, first served basis. And we look forward to seeing you there in September. So don't forget about it. Get on today, make your reservation, and we'll look forward to seeing you on September 15th. That having been said, let's open to the living field of creation, and we're going to connect to the elemental forces of creation. So feet on the ground, if you can. Floor is fine. Close your eyes. Take in, let's do 3 deep breaths. The first one being the breath of life, and releasing when you exhale all that has concerned you this morning. Our second deep breath would be also to breathe in gratitude. Gratitude for all that you have in your life. We are so blessed. We can just take the time for that gratitude. And when you exhale, exhale any sense of lack that you have. You are an abundant being. And for your third deep breath, breathe in spirit. Breathe in the God of your understanding, whatever that is. And when you release, release all cares and concerns into that definition of God for you. Let's take a moment just in silence to honor ourselves for being here, to honor our bodies, to honor the planet that we live on, and thank Mother for all that she gives to us every single day. When you feel complete, you can open your eyes, look around you, and notice. Notice something that you haven't noticed before. What has been there all the time, but you didn't notice it until just now? Ah. So here we are. We are at a time of the full moon in Capricorn. It's beautiful golden moon. And the sun in Cancer. And you can see in the astrological gates of awareness that these are polar opposites. The sun in Cancer, the moon in Capricorn. Now, what does that mean? Cancer is a water sign. Capricorn is an earth sign. Earth is feminine. Cancer, water, is also feminine. So we are on the feminine axis. And it is about receiving. And so this is the time to receiving, for receiving messages, for receiving love, for receiving all that is ours. And we're going to work with the elements to get some messages for. Now, full moon is about releasing. And we're going to talk about releasing. We have some questions to answer. We're going to talk about that releasing as we go through this program this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, wherever you are. I'm recording in the morning. So just to get a feel about this feminine axis, all about that sense of the deep inner knowing that the feminine has. And are we trusting that inner knowing? It's very important. It's a very big part of the feminine axis. So just touch with yourself. Are you receiving? Are you being open? Are you touching into the deepest part of your feminine self? You know, our world is asking us oftentimes to hurry, to get things done. And sometimes it's just important to come back to our feminine knowing. And that goes for the guys too. They have their, you all have your feminine side and your inner knowing. So making sure that you connect with that. And we're going to talk about the Cancer sun. Cancer loves to nurture anything from children, pets, friends, family, gardens, and businesses. While they may have children, they also can simply have friends and a community that feel like family. And I want to say something about that. Our community and our friends provide a support that no one else provides. And so when we're in Cancer, we definitely want to appreciate those people in our lives who make that difference. Cancer folks love comfort, comfortable chairs, clothes, homes, food. They love comforting rituals, like a cup of tea with cookies and time with friends. They're protective of those that it considers family. Cancer people want to create an environment that is user-friendly, for lack of a better term. And you'll know a Cancer person when you come in their home and you are immediately greeted with kindness, loving affection. You're so comfortable in their home, the way they furnish it, the ambiance. It's all designed for their comfort and your comfort. They want to create an environment that is nurturing. Cancer is the most nurturing sign of the zodiac. And so when you connect with a Cancer, you'll know that they care very deeply about you. So manifesting the Cancer energy, tender loving care and sweet nurturing is required for Cancer's manifestations to come into form. They also need to be very mindful that they hold the fulfillment of their manifestation complete in their watery feeling realm. Clearing self-doubt and any old feelings that muddy their creation waters are vital to magnetizing their heart desires. You'll know a Cancer person by the way they nurture, by their deep concern for other. And they are amazingly kind and thoughtful people. You probably know some who have that characteristic in their being. Very special energy. Okay. So now we're going to talk about this Capricorn moon. Who are Capricorns? Well, Capricorn is an earth sign, as we mentioned, and it teaches the value of structure and form. It's an administrator, a mature and wise one, a disciplined teacher, a hardworking leader, a good provider, and a practical business person. That's a lot. That's a lot. They carry huge amounts of responsibility. Capricorn is ambitious, responsible, effective, efficient, and goal-oriented as it brings new structures into earthly form. It creates organizations and systems designed to last and support the generations to come, and it is a wealth builder. Wow, that is a lot of carrying that one must do with Capricorn energy. And so Capricorn stays pretty busy. Capricorn has to go off on its own to do this very big work. Capricorn has a perspective that sees the big picture and wants to create things that will last for generally 7 generations. Although those things don't have to be huge things. Um, we think about people like Frank Lloyd Wright, people like Mozart creating beautiful music. You realize that that music is on paper, that is structure and form. These are people who have created things to last for generation after generation. However, Capricornian energy can also be very small in its creation, but it has lasting results. For example, let's say that you have Capricornian energy and you create rituals for your family that last for generation after generation because they're so meaningful, they're mature, they're effective. And so what you have created does not have to be a big thing in Capricornian energy. It's just built to last. So that gives you just a little bit of a feel. If you have Capricorn in your chart, for example, you don't have to build the Sistine Chapel or a Notre Dame in Paris. You just have to create what's within your wheelhouse to create for the generations. Capricorn, wise ones, grandmothers and grandfathers, prime minister energy, tribal elder, matriarch, counselor. Know the rules and knows when rules are changing to accommodate the natural evolution of life and help write new guiding principles. Responsible command of domain, bring spirit into matter to manage and administer it for the well-being of the 7 generations to come. Lawmakers and makers responsible, holds it all together for the community. Now, if it feels like Capricorn is a very big energy to hold, it is. And so a Capricorn, it's imperative for that Capricorn to learn balance, that it's not all work and no play. It's very simple to get into that pattern based on what a Capricorn brings to the table. So I admonish those with Capricorn energy, find the balance, find the water in your system that teaches you to play. Water is a wonderful transmitter of the energy of play. So make sure you get a little of that in with your Capricornian energy, and to be able to translate that into something of structure and form to release all of those thoughts and plans that kind of swirl around in your head. So we're going to look right now at elemental guidance. I want you to stop and think about what needs your elemental guidance now. What do you want to tap into the elements for? Maybe it's body wisdom. That's earth, our body wisdom. Maybe it's your plans, seeing the future, moving ahead. Maybe it's financial. That too is earth. So all of these things, seeing new places, working with your body, financial aspect, understanding time. Those are all part of the earth realm. But we're going to spend some time, we're going to talk about the elements, and each of them will give you some guidance as to what you need to do next or what you want to think about. So here we go. I want you to understand and take the steps to open to elemental guidance. Now, what does that mean? I would say, sit up straight, open your arms and open your chest so that you are in a position where your heart is open, your mind is open to take in the messages from the elemental forces of creation. I'm going to start with Earth. And here is the Natural Rhythms Revolution deck. Pick a card. Pick a card, any card, and see what it means to you. So I'm going to pick one and talk about it with you. I'm going to choose Embody Wholeness. That's a wonderful opportunity from the earth realm, from the feminine side, to be whole unto yourself, to know that within you lies all the answers, that everything you need is within. When you take care of your body, mind, and spirit, you have that opportunity. It's a right brain and left brain thing. When you use both sides of your brain as another way to embody wholeness. So take a moment now, and I hope to be able to play some music here for you and write about your card. So we'll see if we can do that. No, it doesn't seem to want to do that. So we'll just stay with it and we'll be in the silence. I love the term in the silence, in the silence, in the silence, because that's when spirit speaks to us, when we're quiet. So we'll do these in silence and take just a minute with your card. I'll be back with you shortly. How was that? I hope that you found a card and something that spoke to you. I'm going to touch on one more. The power to stand on your own. That's a very potent earth teaching. And what I want to say about that is, yes, it's very important to be able to stand on your own, to be conscious of your own belief system, and be willing to defend it. At the same time, you want to be willing to stand on your own in group, in community, because that's where the rubber hits the road, as they say. The power to stand on your own is to be able to stand up for your beliefs in community, in a group, and be a leader if necessary in your belief system. So those are two pretty vital teachings from Earth. Earth is the physical realm. We've talked about that, its structure and form. It's creating things to last for generations. So here's a question that you can ponder. Stop your tape, stop your video, stop your audio, and contemplate this. In this full moon, what needs to be released to clear the way for your new creations? We're talking about the time in the full moon to release. Very important to release what is no longer serving you. Now, it's kind of like a forest fire. What happens when there's a fire in the forest? It levels the ground. It destroys what is the vegetation that is there right now. In time, however, new growth will spring up. New growth will make its way. And that's exactly what we're looking to do in this full moon. We want to release, not necessarily to burn, but at least to release whatever isn't serving us so we can clear the way for our new creations, our new thoughts, our new whatever we're going to build to last for generations. So sometimes it means taking a good hard look at what it is that needs to go. We get very habituated to our things, our stuff, if you will. And now, taking a step back, we can really look and see what needs to be cleared to make room for the wonderfulness, the creativity that is within us going forward in the earth realm. So perhaps you want to stop the video and contemplate this question for a few moments, maybe journal with it. We're going to move on to water. Water is the emotional realm, and it invites us to feel the full strength of our emotions. Anything from icy cold to steamy hot is water. Ice. In the summertime, we really want to get our hands on some ice. In the winter, we want some steamy hot. It's also the range of emotion that goes from like the clear, still water of a pond all the way to a raging sea. And giving ourselves permission to feel that full range of emotion. Sometimes in our societies, we feel that we can't do that, that we have to keep our emotions sheltered, that we have to keep them away from others, that they will judge us because of our emotionality. Well, water gives you permission to feel what you feel and to honor it. So let's see, let's take the power of love. Let's look at the power of love. There is no stronger emotion in the world than that power of love. If we can always lead, and I know that's a tall order, right now there is much angst in our country and in the world. The power of love, if you can hold it within, will bring you peace no matter what is happening in the world. If you can shine love out to everyone, not just the people that you agree with, but everyone, that power of love will serve you well, and it will serve them well as well. So take a moment, give you a moment to choose a card and journal in the silence with our card. And I will put a little time on the clock. We'll go right ahead. Okay. I hope you found a card that was appropriate for you. I'd like to talk about ebb and flow. Such a critical piece of teaching. If we are fighting against the tides of our emotions, it does not serve us well. We want to be able to move just like the tides, to know when to come in, when to be within ourselves, and when to flow out, when to move forward. Ebb and flow teaches us that things don't come to last, they come to pass. And that just as the tides come in, they will go back out. You may find these times challenging. They will pass. We just have to be willing to flow with the tides, to ebb, to come in, go out, come in, go out. And not to put up a dam or a barrier to keep that water from moving, because then it becomes stagnant. It becomes stagnant within you as well. Okay, so we're going to move on to a question with water. We were talking about releasing in this full moon. What emotion comes up as you consider releasing matter from your physical world? For some of us, it may feel just terrific. Let's get rid of this stuff. It's been an albatross around my neck for a long time. Let's get rid of it. Or for others, it's challenging, it's sad, it's heartbreaking to give up something that you feel has been important to you, but maybe is no longer. So stop your video and consider this emotion that's coming up. Maybe there's more than one. Maybe maybe you're joyous and sad at the same time about releasing things that aren't serving you. And explain that just a little bit. And we'll continue on. Air. Air is the mental realm. It's our thoughts and our intentions. It's what is unseen within us. You know, we see the effects of air, but we don't actually often see air. You might see air in a tornado, uh, in a storm of some sort, but you'll see how it affects the environment. The trees move, the flowers bow their heads, whatever it is. But basically, you don't look at air, and you can't really hold air in your hand. So it's kind of ephemeral in that regard, but it's so powerful. I'm going to pick a card. Let's see, mass consciousness. Oh my goodness. That is so important right now. What is coming to us over the airways? Mass consciousness. Oh, it is affecting us all. We don't realize the effects that what is coming to us on the air can have on our being, on our communities, on our nation, on the world. Mass consciousness is the idea that we can change because of what we hear and what we see that comes to us on the airwaves. And you know the effects that it's having on our societies and on our world. There's just no doubt. So mass consciousness, we want to affect mass consciousness in a positive way. It's the energy that you carry when you walk into a room. People feel it. You are affecting mass consciousness every time you move in a room with other people. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. And so what you're putting out, whether it's love and compassion or whether it's very negative, it is affecting everything you touch. Think about it. There have probably been times when you walk into a room and you can just feel in the air that something negative has happened in that room. Maybe there's been discord, maybe there's been a challenge, or unkind words have been spoken, and you can feel it. It's hanging in the air. So know that your thoughts will transmit how you're feeling, and it will affect everything around you. So I want you to keep that in mind. Okay. All right. So pick a card, any card, and give you a minute or two to journal about that card and see what it says. And we're sitting in the beautiful silence of air. I love all these cards. There's so many that we could speak a whole hour on each one and have wonderful discussion and meaning. So, well, let's pick energetic chords. So energetic chords, so there's a belief system that says that you are energetically connected to everyone you've ever met, any place you've ever been, and any activity that you participated in. There is an energetic cord. So we want to make sure that our energies aren't going to places, people, and things that aren't serving our highest good. And so we want to cut those cords. We want to make sure that our energy isn't going to negative places. And yet, at the same time, we want to be extremely careful that we don't kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater, that maybe someone who is very close to us has done us wrong, has disappointed us, and we want to cut that cord because we no longer want that person in our lives. We want to be careful. We want to make sure that when we cut those cords, we retain what was good about that relationship, what you learned from that relationship, what gifts that place or thing gave you. And so in cutting energetic cords, you want to be extremely careful and make sure that what you're cutting is only what no longer serves you. Okay, I think that's important to speak about. The other thing that I want to just touch on is intention. And our intentions help us create. Once we set that intention versus a goal, we can open up to the vista. I always talk about the fact that goals keep us focused in one direction. But when we set an intention, we have an open field to see what's coming to us rather than say, let's say, I want to lose 20 pounds. To say, I want to eat in a better way and see where it takes me is an intention. The goal, 20 pounds, straight ahead. But the intention allows you to open to all the gifts that could possibly come to you. Different ways of eating, learning other perspectives, so we want to make sure that when we set an intention, we're not making it so narrow that we're missing the point. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the air realm and the question, what is your intention for the release of what no longer serves you? Okay, so stop your video. You can jot down the question or you can answer it now. So what does this mean? What's your intention for release of what no longer serves? How can we hold that energy and make it a wide enough perspective that we release without cutting essential cords? So that would be my comment about that. So go ahead and stop your video. Well, here we are at the fire realm, the action realm. Many people are afraid of fire. Fire does not have to burn down everything. Fire can be a little ember. Fire can be a cup of hot chocolate or a blanket on a cold night, little fire in the fireplace. Fire, let's talk about illumination. Fire can illuminate what is in the dark for you. You know, we all keep somewhere in the back of our minds, we have little secrets and maybe some unresolved issues. Fire can illuminate that and bring it forward for clearing and for healing. So it can be a small light illumination. It doesn't have to be a big conflagration. And I say that about fire in every regard. It doesn't have to be large. What fire asks you to do is to have passion, passion for what moves you, passion for what's important in your life. Okay. Fire gives us the power of action, taking steps to create. Now, they don't have to be big steps. They can be baby steps. You'll get there. You'll get there. So take a moment. I'll give you a little bit of time. Take a moment and choose a card and journal with that card. And here we go. I hope you got something yummy out of fire. The action realm. Okay. So here's your question to stop the video. Tap into your passion for clearing inner and outer space for your new creation. Okay. Just feel what you're passionate about as you think about clearing for new creation. What comes up? What comes up? So stop your video, tap into that passion for clearing. And finally, spirit, the unseen, God, goddess, Allah, the void, all that is, creator. There are as many names as you can create for spirit. And so I'm going to choose the card co-creation, which I love, because it is only by joining with spirit that my creations come to be, that they flourish, and that the magic happens. Spirit brings the magic. And so I ask Spirit to join me in co-creating whatever is important for me to bring forward in this lifetime. It's very meaningful. Active receptive. I just want to hit on one more card. The Spirit teaches us about polarities. For example, divine feminine, divine masculine, dark and light. But active receptive, knowing that there is a time to be moving forward with your creations and a time for rest and a time to receive. So you have the masculine axis of air and fire for active, and for receptive, you have earth and water to receive. Okay. So you want to make sure you're balancing both. If you're working too hard, if you're pushing too hard, maybe it's time to back off and receive. Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you another minute and a half, pick a card, do a little journaling. Now remember that you can continue this journaling, and hopefully you will after this session has ended. I'd like to talk about the power of choice. If you can start every intention with I choose, you will find a much easier pathway in your being. If you feel that when you're setting intention, I must, or I have to, or I've got to, that is going to suck the energy out of you. But if you know you have a choice, you can do it today or not do it today. You can do it next month or not do it next month. I choose. I choose my pathway. I choose my intention. I choose. It's very, very powerful. So make sure that that's something that you allow yourself, that power of choice that Spirit teaches us about. Okay, Spirit is our soul realm. How will you ask for assistance from Spirit as you release and create space for your new creation? Do you regularly have conversation with Spirit? Do you ask? How do you ask? What do you ask for? So these are questions you can ponder when you stop the recording or when you complete. You're almost to the end. Once you have written down the answers to all these questions, use them with your unified field matrix to create a message that works with all of the elements and Spirit. Spirit's that umbrella. Spirit is that magic that brings it all together. Okay, our next community ceremony for the new moon in Leo on August 1st at 4 p.m. Judy Keating will be back. And I just want to remind you one more time about our leaf event, September 15th, Scottsdale's Farms, Alpharetta, Georgia. It's going to be a blast. And if you go to wisetransformation.com, you can read more about it and register. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today, whenever you are watching this recording. And I hope that this full moon in Capricorn brings you much wisdom and opportunity for your creations. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.